Leftist President Gustavo Petro moved this year's Independence Day parade to the impoverished south of the capital Bogota, a symbolic choice to reiterate his government's commitment to the country's poor. Yet as he reaches the half point of his administration, his ambitious plans to reform the country's unequal economic and social laws have been stymied by Congress and corruption scandals among some of his officials. Problems he tried to overcome in a speech inaugurating Congress's new legislative period and calling for a national agreement.
The political pact that I propose to you is meant to help us reach an agreement on the reforms. It's not meant to preserve the status quo, because that's what brought us here. It led us to be the most unequal society on the planet.
In his first 2 years in office, Petro has managed to pass a tax reform early on, a pension bill and reduce deforestation, but his overall agenda and security plans have lagged.
Petro has had difficulties building consensus with different political forces. This has translated, for one part, into a significant deterioration of his government's political capital. And on the other hand, we have seen several corruption scandals that have eroded its credibility and its legitimacy as a government that was meant to do things differently.
Faced with these challenges, Petro has changed more ministers than any previous administration, transforming an early coalition government into one more entrenched and loyal to his vision, accusing the country's traditional elites of waging a soft coup against them and repeatedly flirting with the idea of overhauling the constitution to implement his agenda.
Outside Congress, protesters were a reminder of the country's deep polarization. Centrist Alessandro, former Minister of Education in Petro's first cabinet, says the president has mostly himself to blame for lashing out at his critics and allies alike.
President Petro has divided our society even more. He has tried to divide society between a corrupt elite and the people, of which he pretends to be the only spokesperson. And that has created more political problems and generated more uncertainty.
As time passes, it seems increasingly unclear what avenues are left for the president to reach his ambitions for change, which risk leaving his promises unfulfilled. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera, Bogota.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.